Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Welcome, everybody. Kevin Jackson here. It's the Kevin Jackson Show. It's convenient because it's me and then it's my show. So I got a couple things I want to discuss with you that I think are the strength. They're the craziest things. And I would say they're the craziest things I've heard since yesterday, because the left will give you craziness beyond belief. As soon as you think you've reached the depth, crazy can't go any farther bottom than that. Oh, here's a story. Start digging. Crazy has no limit when it comes to leftists. So I'll give you an example of one of the things I want to discuss. And let me tell you, we can discuss cupcakes, snowflakes, uranium, and all that, and we will this hour. But I'm just telling you, this story shows you what I'm talking about. Studying depression in fish. Your tax dollars. Fish. It turns out, I'm reading from an article, it turns out humans aren't the only ones to have the blues. Fish can become depressed-like when experiencing chronic stress, according to a new study that you funded. One of my friends sent me an article, and he says, Kevin, academia is a cancer, and I'll have to read an excerpt from it. He's got a book out. And essentially he says, if you want to create a job for yourself, this is how academics do it. They say, I'm going to study depression, and I'm going to study it in some crazy animal. And then I'm going to eventually get you to pay for it. And once you pay for it, I'm going to make it an adjunct to psychology and biology, and I'll call it psychobiology. And then you'll continue to fund it. I'll become a tenured professor speaking on some nonsense thing that I created that has no bearing on life as we know it. That is exactly what we do. He does it a lot more eloquently than I do. But you gotta, when I get a chance, I'm going to get an excerpt from his book. I think he sent me chapter 14. And I'm going to play it for you. His name is Ken. And I'll play it for you. I'm going to read it to you. It's crazy. His premise is amazing, well thought out. Something that I hadn't thought about in that context. Because I would always joke and say, why do I have to take all these core classes? French Renaissance literature or art appreciation. I remember I took an art appreciation class. I'm an engineering student at the time. Math, engineering, and computer science are my degrees, electrical engineering. And they say, go take art appreciation. And I go, why? Well, it's good to be well-rounded. I can learn about art. I can go to the library and learn about art. Why am I paying $1,000 for somebody to teach me art? That's the question. That's the age-old question. I'm getting an engineering degree. Well, Kevin, you may need to understand. I get what they're saying. You need to understand it because you may program something that's artistic. It won't matter. I'll learn it at the time. My core degree is in the things I described. I need to understand the engineering, the electrical engineering, the computer science behind it, or the math. And generally, math was just, kind of a throwaway degree for most of the double E's. But that was our goal, is to be able to program. So I could do hardware and software. We called it firmware at the time. But to be able to program the things that I needed to do to make my hardware work. That was what I needed. I didn't need, if they said, Kevin, you're going to be programming something or building something for an artistry company. Okay, great. No problem. I don't need to, I'm not an artist. I just need to know what you want your art to do. That's it. But so the point is, we allow these people to create these fictitious needs that don't even exist. What would college cost if you didn't have to take half the BS classes they want you to take? It would cost half, right? Yeah. And then how could they indoctrinate you if you don't have to take diversity of this, black cultural this, Native American this, women and gender this? If you didn't have to take that nonsense, then you'd just get out of college a lot faster. You'd be more productive. You'd have a smaller bill if you had to pay for it, and you'd start paying for it quicker. That's the way it would work. But they convinced you, oh, no, you're not well-rounded unless you understand gender studies. The 13 different genders that are out there, the 50-something genders, or how women have been oppressed in America, or blacks, or browns, or yellows, or whatever. That's when you become well-rounded. Because you couldn't expect to have had that experience on your own. And college certainly wasn't going to teach it to you when you came from Bodunk, Middle America, to go to New York to go to college. You're certainly not going to be experiencing diversity and multiculturalism. Now, are you? Yeah, well, maybe you will. But they don't care about that. That doesn't pay the bills. Nor does it fund the nonsense that they teach your kids. It's like cable TV. Cable TV uses these packages like football or, Major League Baseball or something, the UFC, and they say, okay, we're losing money on these classes, if you will, but these classes, these core classes, sports and, money talk and things like this, cable news, they make it. So they package it and say, you have to take this nonsense stuff in order to get the big stuff. And the big stuff is all the things you want to watch. So you then get these reading channels that every now and then, they'll go, oh, check out Ted and Todd. They're in love. You need to see gay love. It's amazing. Gay. Or there's a show on about, they follow some chick around that became a dude. And I forget the name of the show, but it's a transsexual show. Look, I get it. People, you do need at some point in your life to understand the transsexualism, asexualism, all the sexualisms that are out there. You do. But you don't need to do it at the age of 6. Okay? And by the time you do understand it, and I think there is some sensitivity that America needs that says, look, these people feel something different. A person that wants to be a transsexual, they've got to be wired differently. Don't hate on them. Don't be mad. Don't ostracize them. They feel differently, and accepting of them as long as it doesn't impact legislation like Target. Oh, you got to put that bathroom in there. No, I don't. I'm not going to put a bathroom in for a transsexual. Pick your choice and go. That's that. So I get it, but we've gone over. So here's the point. Without the NFL, many of these other channels wouldn't survive. Without the core things in college, degrees in college, things like business, these other degrees wouldn't survive. These other classes wouldn't survive. But that's how liberals fund things. That's why they want you fund the arts. The government should fund the arts. No, art should fund the arts. People who love art should fund the arts. It's that simple. Anyway, we got a ton to talk about. And I didn't even get into the depression of fish, so we'll be back on that too.
This is the Kevin Jackson Radio Show.
Do you owe back taxes to the IRS or state? The secret to avoiding the IRS nightmare is to seek professional representation. My friends at Security Tax Associates provide the most cost-effective and ethical representation in the industry while helping to avoid seizures, levies, and wage garnishments. Security Tax Associates is here to ensure that the appropriate steps are taken to permanently eliminate any possibility of future tax burdens once and for all. For a free, no-obligation consultation, contact Security Tax Associates, 844-779-4177. That's 844-779-4177. 844-779-4177. Or visit them at securitytaxassociates.com.
Beth Cook Moranville, author of Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope.
Hope, that wonderful, wonderful 4-letter word that you may feel completely out of. I wrote this book to give you great hope. It's not too late. If fetal position is an all too familiar place for you, I understand. If the next 60 seconds are too long, this book is for you. Wherever you are right now, whether you're dealing with divorce or death or sickness, take hope. You are going to make it through this pain. Don't roll your eyes. I've walked this road and I know it. The best is yet to come.
Closer Than Your Breath, a book of hope from author and speaker Beth Cook Moranville, can be found on Amazon.com or Kindle.com. For more information, visit closerthanyourBreath.com or on Facebook at Closer Than Your Breath.